What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Alright, so the World Tournament's coming up this weekend, so I'm just going to briefly cover some of the team builds for the upcoming tournament. I'm not going to be able to grind as I normally do this weekend due to, a lot of stuff coming up, but I'll probably, do the minimal amount of work and then, collect the rewards or whatnot. But let's go ahead and cover some of the team build ideas that I might be rolling out for the World Tournament. So starting off the bat, this is similar to kind of the team I used last time around. This is pretty much the Resurrected Warriors category team. Pretty much everyone on this team right now is mainly for defense, and you can see LR Broly as the pretty much the sole attacker for this team. So everybody around him is pretty much defending or has the ability to defend. Like Angel Golden Frieza will reduce the attack of 15% for super types, as well as defense going up by I think 50%. The Agility Golden Frieza is obviously one hell of a tank, reduces up to 90% damage taken if HP is above 50%. And then the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, he's got the ability to defend pretty well once he gets the super attack off, and also has the medium chance to seal the SA. So, and he also complements LR Broly as another Saiyan. The Agility Tapion card, he's got the ability to reduce damage taken by 50%, so another option there. He's got the ability to also go into the giant mode, and then that pretty much negates any damage taken for that. The last remaining spot is for Kid Buu, just because he's got the passive of attack and defense increasing by 50% if HP is above 80%. Now, the option to replace him with is another Super Saiyan to help with the Link skills. With LR Broly, I'm thinking the Strength Majin Vegeta wouldn't be a bad choice, since he's also got the ability to serve as an orb changer from agility types to the strength orbs. So that's kind of option number one. And then option number two is a newly released movie bosses category. So you've obviously got the new Turles card as the leader. Hell of a unit, can defend pretty well with the power up, has the ability to increase the defense by 180% if I remember correctly. And then he's got all sorts of passive skills that help the team overall. So I'll let us scroll back around and then we'll go from there. He's got the ability to stun enemies at a medium rate too, so that helps. So +3 key for all allies, attack increase of 40%. And then for super types, it's going to reduce damage, reduce attack by 15% down. And then once he powers up, he's going to have the ability to recover HP by 15% and then increase attack and defense by 130%. And then super types defense will go down by 80%, as well as having the high chance of stunning enemies. So that's a pretty good package overall there. And he could definitely help out with the team. And then, you do see the Tapion and Agility Golden Frieza again. Those are pretty much, the defenders, and then Metacooler is going to help out with the key and then the attack boost to 30%. Instead of LR Broly, I am including the maxed out Extreme Z Awakened Broly, because I put in some work on him, and he's got higher levels in criticals at level 12, level 14, and then level 12 for combos. So he could essentially serve the same function as a LR Broly, and chances are I'll bring another LR Broly friend for the World Tournament. And then you have the Strength Janemba, just mainly to defend and then dodge attacks and potentially greatly reduce enemies' defense. Alright, so these are the two teams that I'm pretty much gonna go with for the most part. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, so option number 3 is utilizing the Raditz card, free-to-play Raditz, because some players might not have units that can attack all enemies, so he's an option there. And depending on how much effort you put into the hidden potential system, he could combo or critical, depending on what you choose. So this is pretty much the old school nuking option team for the World Tournament. You do have the intelligence type Turles on here to stun the enemies. He does have a high probability of doing that. And then Angel Golden Frieza as kind of like another attacker slash defender. And you also got the Captain Guinea free-to-play card. So this guy could be definitely pretty useful in that he can, you know, if there's more than 2 enemies, he can reduce damage by 15%. That'll definitely help when you're at times 30 difficulty. And then, you know, when there's only 1 enemy, it'll add +3, and then attack and defense increases 70%. So you can certainly help out there. And then Perfect Cell, I just kind of put him in there just to fill in a slot for it. Now, obviously, you can customize and tailor it to however, you know, your heart desires. This is pretty much more or less a template of what you could build. Alright, so this is another option, basically going with a strength type team, utilizing either LR Broly or the Extreme Z Awakened Broly. So Super Janemba is the lead just to maximize Broly's attack. Majin Vegeta's in there to convert the orbs and then link up with Broly. And then you have the introduction of the free-to-play Jace. Now he has the ability to foreshadow the special attacks coming or super attacks coming by the enemy, so that could potentially help out. And then you have the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta to tank, and then LR Vegeta to help out with the attack as well as defend pretty well. So the bottom 2 are super types. They're not going to fully take advantage of the stat boost from Janemba, but more or less they're kind of there for backup anyway. Alright, and then this is finally the last option. Pretty much another strength type team. LR Broly is lead to give out the 90% for HP attack and defense, plus the additional +3 key. You can certainly use the Extreme Z Awakened Broly. He does add +3 key. Instead of 90%, it'll be 70%. And then you're including, LR Vegeta Blue, Majin Vegeta to serve as an orb changer and link up, a Jace to foreshadow the attacks, and then Jiren I just put in there just because he can defend pretty well. He has the ability with the passive to increase defense by 120%. And then you have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta to tank as well. So I included slots for team builds for cards that I have. Now there's so many varieties in addition to that, like incorporating LR Majin Vegeta or even the Tech Majin Vegeta. Now he's not going to be able to one-shot kill enemies, but the Tech version is certainly an option. You could go with the Nukin option or the Resurrected Warriors category setup, and you could certainly try with that. Or you could combine, you could straight up get a nuking option and then combine a couple of AoE units, like for example this guy, or I did have. Alright, here we go. So basically, as long as, actually scratch that. I was kind of testing this out, but in order to get the nuking benefits, you're going to have to pick a strength type. So more or less, this is kind of, disregard the bottom 2. I was kind of just messing around with it earlier. But you do have the nuking option to go with LR Broly if you don't have, if you're missing out on certain units. Now it's going to depend on how the items allocations are to be served. Now for these 2 teams, which are more likely the team build setups I'm going to go with, predominantly the most part I'm going to bring at least one recovery item like Android 8 that increases defense by 50% and then recovers 70% of HP. And then in addition to that, probably 2 of the orb changing items, one to convert the strength from agility orbs and then the agility from the tech orbs. And then for the last one, probably a Ghost Usher maybe. So that's kind of the format for more than likely that particular team. Now for this one, it's going to be more or less, definitely Android 8 probably, and then potentially an orb changer, and then probably, let's see, I'm thinking a Ghost Usher just in case, and then more than likely the World Tournament announcer for the strength type just to boost up Broly's attack. So that's probably more than likely what I'm going to go with. Now, if you do go with the Nukin option, you're going to have to go, you know, pretty much all nukes, or just have one slot for a Ghost Usher or, you know, a damage reducing item. So that's kind of the format there. For these guys, it's going to be similar, you know, orb changers and recovery items and probably a Ghost Usher, you know, kind of setup. So like I said, these two teams right here are more than likely what I'm going to go with. The only problem I see with this movie bosses category is, you know, how many other people are going to be setting the agility Turles as lead. I'll probably have more luck going in with this team and then using another LR Broly. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm thinking. So if I have the option to go with this, depending on how the friend and guest list looks, I'll probably go with that because it's a little bit more stable in my opinion than this one. But this team is definitely pretty good overall. I think, you know, even though Kid Buu does provide the 50% boost toward attack and defense, and that'll help out Broly tremendously. I mean, the options you have here, for me anyway, is either the Strength Majin Vegeta or even one of these guys. Could go with, let me think here, or even, you know, Metacooler. That's another option, you know, +3 ki, and then attack will increase by 30%. So, I mean, there's plenty of options to go with. I just kind of, I'm currently reevaluating the option to go with. So, yeah, like I said, this is pretty much samples of potential team builds for the World Tournament. So hopefully this will give you kind of a better idea, depending on the deck you have available, on what kind of team to build for it in JP. All right, thanks for watching.